Yo, what's going on, everybody? Dave Fly P with the Intellekt, and I want to thank you all for tuning in. If you haven't already, please subscribe, because at this point, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, you are just missing out, because I'm dropping dope content on a regular, whether it be insightful or intriguing. So hey, go ahead and tap in, but let's go ahead and get into it. So last time I talked to you all about emotions. I talked to you about how the idle mind is the devil's workshop. Let me say that again. An idle mind is the devil's workshop. And what I meant by that was that when you sit still for too long, the depression just starts rolling in. And then one bad thought after another just starts pouring in like a funnel. You know, you start to think about when a coworker made you mad, or when somebody did you wrong and you feel like you couldn't get back at them the way that you wanted to, or how a family member wasn't there when you needed them to be. You just switch that time from, letting your mind wander to doing what it is that's on your heart, that you feel that you've been wanting to do or that you need to do. But see, I gave you all a short-term fix for a short-term problem, but that short-term problem will constantly revisit you, whether it be multiple times in a day or multiple times in a week. But you will have that problem again if you continue to sit still. And I mean, come on now, who doesn't sit still for at least a minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, however long? It can hit you even if you were just sitting still for just 30 seconds. Like you just sat still and then just boom, it just gets you. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is that I want to talk to you about is that we have to forgive ourselves. And what I mean by that is that you have to literally look at yourself and say, I forgive you, because we will literally beat ourselves up for how we should have done things and how we could have did this differently and how we could have went about this. But the truth of the matter is that when hurtful situations happen to us, they're out of our control. A lot of times they're out of our control, and we must remember that we can only control the actions that we can do. So we can only control our own actions. So if somebody hurt us in the past, 9 times out of 10 is probably because of what somebody else did. And if it's not, it's something that we could have did better. Therefore, we got to hold ourselves accountable. But either way, we have to forgive ourselves, because for one, looking at it in a present day aspect, we're smarter than we were before. Chances are we know what lesson was supposed to be learned in that moment. Therefore, we know what we were supposed to learn from that particular moment. But looking back at it, we can't go back in time and change anything. We try to, basically cry ourselves to sleep and say that, oh, I should have did this and I should have did that. But the truth of the matter is that whatever that you did in that moment was probably who you were trying to be. And with that, you were maybe trying to be somebody that was more passive and was just like, you know what, I'm not even gonna let this escalate, so I'm just let it go. But then you just think about, well, man, they just said so many disrespectful things to me. You focus on what you can control. And in that moment, you probably felt like, you know what, I'm just gonna let it go. I'm just not gonna engage it, and I'm not going to allow this to get under my skin and ruin my energy. And even in that same aspect, you got to look at the messenger. Sometimes you have the most insignificant people in your life that will try to ruin your energy. And you have to understand that they feel like it's their job. Their job is to ruin other people's day. So you must acknowledge that, whether they know it or not, whether they think it's their job or not, they have a duty, whether it be conscious or unconscious, to ruin other people's day and try to, just take you off your square. So you gotta know and be able to identify when those situations happen. Another thing is that remember who you are. Be able to know that you are comfortable in your own skin and what you're capable of and what your strengths are, and just know that, just know who you are, so you know that this little situation that may appear bigger than what it is you got to know how to just shake it off. And sometimes big stuff happens to us, and it's not so easy as it is said and done. It's not that easy, and it takes a reoccurring exercise. Like, you have to literally forgive yourself over and over and over. Every time it comes up, you just got to tell yourself, I forgive you. I forgive you. It's okay. You know, I didn't know that's what I could have did. If you find out that there's a certain way you could have handled it. And also, you know, I learned my lesson. You know, it's okay to just be real with yourself and say, I learned my lesson. I learned my lesson. I forgive you. I forgive you, and I learned my lesson. And whatever you did in that particular situation was not a mistake. It was just natural and what you probably felt was best, even if it was out of defense. And also, who are you to hold a grudge to yourself? You are the one person that knows yourself the best. Therefore, you should also be the person that should love yourself the best, because so many things happen in our lives that beat us down on a regular basis. So if anybody is going to be the one to love ourselves, us as a person, it's going to be ourselves. So with that being said, forgive yourself. Don't hold a grudge. Love yourself today and relieve yourself. And if there's anything that you're really having a big issue getting over, because trauma is real, and trauma is like a weight that is being held upon you that you just can't quite shake so easily. You know, I say these things, you know, just as tips to help you. But if there's something that you're really struggling with, I suggest that you go seek help, go see a therapist, and just go talk to them, because I am only giving you tips that I have learned from my therapist. So these are just a few little tidbits that you can use. But my situations and what I have learned and what I have been through are different from you, and maybe more intense. So with that being said, go seek a therapist so they can help you and teach you how to love yourself as well. And I also want to take this moment to thank Coffee, Hip Hop, and Mental Health for connecting me with my therapist. Their goal is to normalize therapy while enjoying spoken word and a cup of Java. So reach out to them today to start your journey towards better mental health. So much love to you guys. I'm Dave Fly P, and I'm out. And make sure you guys subscribe to the Intellekt. I ain't gonna tell y'all no more, y'all missing out, man. But you know what I'm saying? Hey, I ain't gonna stress you though. You know what I'm saying? If you want to be on this wave, cool. If you don't, so be it, man. But once again, I'm out. Dave Fly P. Let's go.